China. What's their involvement in all of this? There have been reports over the last couple of days of some shipments, some planes carrying potentially weapons to Iran from China. These are unconfirmed reports by the Telegraph in the United Kingdom. Our Prime Minister, Christopher Luxon, is currently in China, in Shanghai, about to go to Beijing to meet with Xi Jinping, and our political editor, Thomas Coughlan, is there for us this morning. Thomas, good morning. I know it's going to be very early for you. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning, Ryan.
What's the Prime Minister saying about these international developments?
Yeah, he was asked about the unfolding crisis in the Middle East yesterday. He said he stands against further escalation, and he wants both sides to de-escalate and return to a peaceful solution. Realistic, he was quite realistic about the fact that they were a long way from that at the moment, and you have just seen that that while the Prime Minister has been sleeping over here, his Foreign Minister has announced the temporary closure of the embassy in Tehran and the evacuation of those two staff, and the fact that that the government is working on getting New Zealanders out of Iran who are still there via whatever means. Obviously, there probably aren't very many New Zealanders in Iran. The advice on safe travel has been not to go there for a very long time, but nonetheless, there will be some, and they clearly are going to find it quite difficult to leave.
Yeah, the airspace, even getting over land is difficult. And now let's move to the Prime Minister's China trip proper. A lot of talk, you took a trip to trip.com yesterday, and a lot of talk about the issue of visas for Chinese tourists. What's the latest?
Yes, this is trip.com, which I'm sure a lot of New Zealanders use. It's the largest travel booking website in China. It's had massive growth in China. The message from the chief executive to Christopher Luxon and other members of the company is that New Zealand needs to explore that visa waiver travel for Chinese tourists. That's basically the sort of freedom that New Zealanders enjoy when they visit the likes of Australia. You just rock up at the airport, someone stamps your passport and you walk through. Chinese tourists have to pay about $400 to get a visa before leaving China. Which is a cost to them. It's an administrative burden. Although no one is saying it out loud, the thinking behind that is that allowing visa-free travel probably would see an increase in asylum claims and the number of overstayers. Chinese visitors already have quite a high instance of overstaying in New Zealand. The government is not going to move on that visa-free status, probably because of that asylum and overstaying issue. They are really not looking to move on that. They're doing anything but. But the message from the Chinese side, from the likes of trip.com, is that is what Chinese tourists want. They're beginning to, the current generation of Chinese traveling consumers looks to book their flights very close to the time they leave. There's a large number of Chinese tourists that are booking flights 8 to 14 days to a month before they actually leave for New Zealand. So it's a very last minute thing. These people aren't necessarily thinking about long visa wait times when they factor in where they want to holiday. But that visa-free travel is not coming, so the government has to look at other means of attracting Chinese tourists to New Zealand. Of course, the other thing about the visas is that the government put up visa fees in part to pay for their tax plan. Visa fees have gone up considerably for Chinese tourists as for everyone else, and they've also trebled the international visitor levy, which is the money that the government collects from inbound arrivals to pay for the cost, the environmental and local government cost of hosting people, and obviously that all adds up to a disincentive for Chinese tourists to actually come here. Our visa fees are about twice what the equivalent Australian visa costs.
Fascinating stuff. Thomas, thank you for that. Reporting to us from Shanghai this morning, that is Thomas Coughlan, the New Zealand Herald political editor, travelling with the Prime Minister over in China.